Welcome back, everyone. This is Thomas Triple T Tie with another new bullish crypto analysis. Before we dig in, feel free to smash the like, ring my bell, hit subscribe, or leave a comment and share your thoughts in this comment section. Let's dig in. We'll take a look at the markets, crypto, Bitcoin, and the equities market. But let's start with some headlines. Putin said that they're making progress on the negotiation between Russia and Ukraine. It's hard, and then the futures market popped slightly. When Putin says something, for me at least, it's hard to know what he's saying, whether it's truth or, as he would say, fake news. He tends to lie a lot. So, on the other front, the West has put sanctions on additional imports. This is for the United States. They have put additional limitations on certain Russian imports like vodka, caviar, etc. We don't do a lot of imports from Russia, so I'm not sure. That's more symbolic, in my opinion. Even for energy. So, additionally, the West, that's Europe and the United States, they're removing Russia from the most favorable list. That sounds confusing. So, what that means is that they can now add tariffs on Russian products to come into the country instead of outright banning it. So, that will that will increase the cost of Russian products. All right, so let's dive in. Bitcoin, crypto. Crypto is red today, mostly red, and Bitcoin it has dropped down to currently at 38.7K, and that's down 1.1 day over day. Dominance is mid 42s here, 42.48. Ethereum down to 2.6K. Dominance is at 17.75. This chart is kind of misleading because it measures day over day. So, for example, you take Luna. Luna was over 100. And even though it's at 92 right now, relative to like monthly performance, Luna is still very green. So, this is only just reminding you that this only measures day over day. BNB is up 1.27, one of the few layer ones that are up, and their dominance is 3.54. Overall it's mostly red. Some of these down here, these are TUSD and what is it, USDC, I think. Something like that. I can't read. It's too small. Anyways, these are stable coins. We got FTT's up. Leo's up. So, yeah, overall, mostly red here. Let's dive into the equities market. U.S. stock equities, at least. It's I would say about 2/3 green. And we got some reds. We got some bright greens here. We got Berkshire here, 1.76. They've been doing pretty well. Amazon, after the 20 to 1 stock 1 to 20 stock split. Yesterday I might say was 10 to 1, so I stand corrected. Tech sector, technology right here, it's mostly red. We got some dark greens. That means that they move. It's positive but very low percentage increase. Cisco Communications is looking pretty decent here. Apple's down 1.21. It looks pretty muted, in my opinion, in the technology sector, and we can see that on the graph. Communication services, it's mixed here. Facebook is down Not surprising. I think. Oh yeah, there was a headline. I think Russia is making criminal charges against Facebook or Meta because they allow, as you know, they ban certain Russian news sites or postings, and now Russia is charging them with criminal charges for allowing some kind of post or news about against Russia. Anyways, it's pretty red here in communication services. Consumer silico, Amazon slightly up, still feeling its nice little rally from yesterday. The rest are pretty dark red. I mean, bright red. Baba is down 3.23. Auto, Tesla is down 3.62. Auto manufacturers is getting hit hard here. Over here, we got consumer defensive. It's more greens than red. Financials looking really nice. Mostly green down here. Healthcare, mostly green here. You got, at least on the upper part, in drug manufacturers in general. But the rest is pretty muted. Industrials, mostly green, mostly muted green. A few bright green spots here. You got in farming and HE. I don't know what HE is. Yeah, it's muted green over here in industrials. Same thing with real estate, very muted. Utilities, same thing, muted. Energy sector, it's more red today than it was yesterday. Basic materials, it's more reds than greens here. But overall, it's pretty muted, and we'll be able to see which indexes are driving the reds and which ones are driving the greens. So let's take a look. But before we do that, let's take a look at a zoomed out view of this chart. I published this yesterday on Twitter, but I'm going to start doing this because I think it gives us a better perspective before we zoom in and take a look at the week. So this is a whole month worth of data. Again, for those of you who are new, on the left column here, this is the on the top row here, this is Bitcoin in the blue graph. On the far left column, this is the US markets. In the middle, this is European and Stock 600. In the far right, we have the Australian market and Asian markets. So let's take a quick look at the month and see how things are trending. As you can see, Bitcoin chops. It chops. This is where it's at right now, 38.6K. And you can see that from where it is, it's mostly right in the range of where it's been in the month, right here. It spent most of its time right here, right where it is right now. It came, there were some highs up here, and this is roughly around 44K right here in the upper part. This one's right here from a few days ago. This was 3 days ago. It hit about 42 right here. And then 40 was, was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was, no, that was yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday's opening. I was at around 40 right here. So, no, that was actually, that was this morning, sorry. This was the other day, it dropped down and then went back up. So this is at opening, market opening. So, it's choppy. Bitcoin's still chopping, but it's hanging, spend more time on the upper side. You can see here, and it spent very little time down here, only one time right down here. And this is roughly around 30, what is it, 34 or something? This is actually a picture, not an actual chart. We'll dive into the chart in a little bit. But yeah, this is roughly around just 34.5 or something like that, right around here, or near 35. So more time on the upside than on the downside, at least in the month. For the Nasdaq QQQ, you can see a trend down right here, a slight trend down. And where is that right now? It's below the average for the month. Average for the month is right around here. So it's below the average of the month. And same thing with the S&P 500. Similar chart, almost identical. Let's see that. For the Dow is a little bit different. Dow, it was doing what these two were doing. It was trending down right here. And then in the last 3 days, it's been having a better recovery than Nasdaq and S&P 500. So that's interesting. The Dow is recovering better. And this makes sense because the Dow cover other areas that the Nasdaq and the QQQ don't. So that's and this is what it gives us when we zoom out, when we see that like a more significant change. On the DXDY or the dollar index, you can see that it's a trend up in the last month. Even though there's a dip right here, it's still overall a trend up. And this gives us a better idea about the risk on, risk off mentality. Are investors holding more dollars or not? It looks like they're continuing to hold the dollar here. For the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield, you can see here it was trending down and similar to the Dow in the last 4 days, including today. It's been trending up. Actually, it went before the Dow went up more significantly. The Treasury yield went up first. You can see that right here, right there, just before the Dow started going up, about a day. So this is the yield has gone up. What this is saying is that yield goes up. Yield moves opposite of price. So when yield goes up, price goes down. So in the last almost 6 days, there's less demand for the 10-year U.S. Treasury bond. And that could mean that people are more risk on here. But we want to take that into consideration with the dollar as well. Over here in the European markets, we can see that these three, the UK 100, the DAX from Germany, the CAC, they all move very similarly. They went down for most of the month here. And then they started picking back up in the last 4 days. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just above 4 days, they started picking up again. So, and if you take a look at this, that's similar to the U.S. 10-year yield. Their charts here compared to here, and it's also similar to the Dow. Down at the this is pretty much the same. The stock 600. So I'll skip that. Over in the Asian market, what do we see? Let's start with Australia. Australia is where it's at right now. It's similar to where it's just above its monthly average right here, just above. But it's been choppy. It's been choppy, up down, up down, up down. But that you don't see like a decline and then an increase. So it just really choppy sideways overall on average. For the Nikkei 225, it's been diving down, but in the past couple of days, there's been slight increase here. And that's similar to the KOSPI from South Korea, but more volatile. Similar movement, similar trends, but more volatile against the Nikkei. Down here, the Hong Kong Hang Seng HSI, it's a slight decline, and this is got squished. I'll change this in the future, but you can see there's a slight decline over time. Right there. And the Shenzhen CSI 300, it's been sideways pretty much, but then it's taken a dip here in the last week. And so in the last week, it's been taking a dive, and then it's popping back up again. But this move right here is pretty interesting. So the in the China market, in this last 7 days, they've had more of an impact than the rest, because the rest are recovering, but China's going down. So I think adding China in here helps a lot to see. But overall, if you take a look at the Australian and the Nikkei and the KOSPI and the CSI 300, they move very similarly. But because if you could compare, see this one went down. This one's kind of slightly down, but more horizontal and then dip. China's similar too. Yeah, China's very similar there. So that gives us a zoomed out perspective about what's happening. There seems to be some recovery in the U.S. market and U.K. markets, but China's a little, East Asian markets and Australians a little bit different. So let's take a look at a zoomed in view. So market opens today at where the green line is. Bitcoin dipped just before the market open, and the Nasdaq, or the QQQ in the Nasdaq, it's also dipping down after market opening. Same thing with SPX. So positive to correlation with Bitcoin is taking place today. And the Dow is also dipping today. And so let's go over to the DXY. DXDY in the last 2 days has been going up and going up today after market opening too. With the exception of this slight period right here, right there. Overall, negative correlation with Bitcoin is holding for DXDY. So really important to pay attention to the dollar index. The US 10-year Treasury yield, as we've mentioned previously, it's been trending up in the last just over 4 days. And even though it's dipping right now in the aftermarket, the market opened, we want to take a look at the overall trend. Unless it dipped down significantly, the current movement after the market dip, it's not significant. So more, it's looking more like risk on here than it is risk off. However, the dollar right here says that it's risk off in the last 2 days. So a lot of mixed signals here. In the middle here, we can see that at U.S. market opening, we can see that the UK 100, it's been dipping down here. Same thing with the DAX, Germany's DAX, the CAC from France, that's also dipping down. So as the stock 600 is also dipping down. So overall, for today at least, the market in Europe and the US, it's dipping slightly down. The Asian markets are closed, but we can take a look at the previous session. Previous session here in Australia, they dipped down pretty hard here on the Nikkei 225, and they also dipped down, had a slight recovery, but overall dip down. Down on KOSPI also, and the Hang Seng HSI, they had a upward movement in their opening session here. Same thing with the Shanghai Hang Seng, no sorry, Shanghai Shenzhen CSI 300. They had a positive trading session here. They went up. If you look at the Hang Seng and the CSI 300, they move very similarly. However, the CSI 300 has a little bit more volatility in it. Let's take a look at what's going on over here in the watch list. The VIX is down, so it's been trending down from 36 point something. Now it's currently at 29.48. And for those who are new, VIX is a volatility index, kind of like the fear and greed index for crypto. And 30 is pretty much a baseline for where the high mark starts. So just below that. So what it's saying is that volatility is decreasing, is what it's saying. Here, the Dixie is currently at 98.94 right there. And we know that the recent week high is roughly around 99.3 or so. U.S. oil is currently at 108.68, and that's an increase of 2.73. With relation to oil, the U.S. is working with the various countries to help increase their outputs. I know they're in negotiation with Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, and I think Canada is also going to increase their output. So that should help with the increase in oil prices. Gold is down day over day, but not by much, 0.04 roughly. It's currently at 1,987 and some change. Silver is currently at 25.98. Make it 26 if you want, and that's day over day is up 3.1. I'm sorry, 0.31. Here, let's take a look at how the USD is doing against its peers. The euro pair with USD, that is negative day over day, is currently at 1.09, and that's down from negative 0.49. And what that's saying is that for this to decrease, and the dollar has to increase. So dollar strength is holding strong here. The pound versus US dollar, that's also decreasing. So and that's currently at 1.3058, I think, and that's down negative 0.20. So dollar still holding strong against the pound. USD versus the yen, that's at 117.12, and that's positive also. So dollar is still holding strong against the yen there. And day over day, that's 0.085. If I read that right? Yes, it is. All right. So in summary, what does the long trend, month trend tell us? Overall, the trend in the long here, a month long, is that we declined for most of the month, but we're having slight recovery in the last week. So that's good. But the Dixie continues its upward trend, and that just shows how strong the dollar is. And that could show that there's still sentiment for risk off. However, the Dixie month-long downward trend has been the yield, at least. I'm sorry, the U.S. 10-year yield over the month it was dropping, but then it's had some recovery. So that shows that people are still in a risk-on environment in the last week. So, and that you can see that in the price of Bitcoin here and the stock market here. It's been recovering or going sideways. So it makes sense somewhat, right? And currently today, it's a mixed market. We got down in the U.S. and European market. Asian market has been, has a slight recovery in their last trading session here, so basically the macro and the geopolitical environment is still driving the market, the crypto, and also the equities market around the world, and that's not a surprise. I appreciate your time. If this added value, feel free to smash the like and ring my bell, hit subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment section. Appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. And my voice is a lot better today, so I'll make another video. Yesterday I said I would make one, and I didn't because I was out of it. So peace.